Today is redemption day, or hopefully redemption, for the brand new Hyundai Ioniq 5 long-range all-wheel drive with the new 77.4 kilowatt-hour battery pack. I did this test a week ago, the 10 to 80% charging time and charging speed test, but I didn't get very good charging speed, and the charging time was more than twice what Hyundai claims. So hopefully today this car is going to get its redemption. So when I did this test a week ago, there were a lot of comments that I did this wrong, I did this wrong, I didn't do this correctly, and you shouldn't do that and do that. So today we're going to do things a little bit differently, but I have to say thank you for all the comments. I really appreciate that a lot of people are chipping in, but this car really is not easy to figure out, and if it wasn't for your comments, I wouldn't know, and most people watching these videos wouldn't know how to actually use the preheating that this car got in an update late last year, because it's not easy to use. And I made a few videos on this car the past week, which you can go and watch, and yeah, it really isn't intuitive and it doesn't always work as intended, but hopefully today it is. And before we jump into the charging session, I'm going to show you guys how to preheat the battery in this Ioniq 5. For the Ioniq 5 to preheat, you have to use the built-in navigation system. So we're here on the main menu, you swipe to the left and then you choose map. So you cannot do this with Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. Don't use those navigation systems if you want to preheat while you're on a trip, or you want to just go to a charger and to charge. That will not work when you use those maps. You have to use the built-in navigation system. Another thing you can't do is just to choose a charger in the navigation system here and navigate there. That will not work. The car will not preheat. It will only preheat if you add a waypoint or a tour point on a trip. So to do that, you go to search, and we're going to do Oslo Central Station, just somewhere central in Oslo. Takes a bit of a second. And then once it finds a route, add tour point or waypoint, and then add tour point, and then do POI categories, EV charging stations. It's very important. You have to follow these steps. So on top, you'll get along the route, but you'll get a maximum of 30 charging stations. So here in Norway, this may be a little bit difficult, because if you want to, navigate, or you want to go to Gothenburg, you may not, get all the charging stations along the route, because there are more than 30 charging stations. You can do near current position or near your destination. That won't always work. Again, if you want to do something, maybe you want to go to Gothenburg with it, which is 300 kilometers away. You want to charge halfway, which is 150 kilometers. The car won't do that. Then you'll have to put the waypoint at 150 kilometers away. But we want to do near destination, and then we want to go to an EON charger, which is a 350, a charger. And also, not all chargers are here in the navigation system. This is also, a little bit hard to find. So I want to go to this one here. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's a Dogde charging station, Torvald Meyersgata, 240 kilowatt charger. But yeah, you can see there are so many destinations. Look at this, like 30, and yeah, 30 is like 950 meters away from our destination. Maybe we want to do along the route, we can find something there. Yeah, okay, so Circle K, I know there's a Circle K here somewhere. Oh, this is from here. Yeah, so it's not easy. So what I want to do is maybe I can try to, I know this is close to Sjællandsplass, so maybe we can do Sjællandshus. So this charger should be just a few hundred meters away from there. So we choose that, and then we add a tour point, POI, and then charging station. We should hopefully be able to find near along the route, near destination. There we go. As you guys can see, this is really cumbersome. I mean, like, you can't do this while you're driving. You have to be parked and stopped, and hopefully, plan a little, because this is not easy. I don't think this Torvald Meyersgata. So you can also do a hack here. I know where I'm going to go. I can use my phone to navigate there. Yeah, it should be here. But what I can do is I can choose one of these DC charging points. Look at there, 30, and then there's so many in Oslo. So I'm going to choose this DC charging point, which should, be enough to warm up the battery. And after like a minute or two, we'll get an icon like a heat coil on top of the battery, and we'll also get a message on the screen showing preconditioning. So there you saw it. I don't know if you guys even saw it. I wasn't quick enough with the camera, but we got a message preconditioning. But you can also see that the battery now is like there's a red, like a coil, like a heat coil icon on the battery. So that means the battery is now preheating. We're going to drive the car down to 10%. And also another thing, preconditioning stops at 20%. This is a 10 to 80% charging test, which we do with all the cars I test here. But it may be problematic that this car, only preheats down to 20% and then it stops preheating, because we'll actually lose some battery. And according to people who have used, OBD devices and stuff like that, the battery temperature drop may be as much as 10 degrees from 20 to 10%. I don't think we're gonna experience that today. I mean, it's, what's the outside temperature? 5 degrees Celsius, so it's not too cold, but yeah, it's not warm either. Before we connect to these Ioniq chargers here in central Oslo to this 240 kilowatt charger to do this 10 to 80% charging time and charging speed test, I just want to give a huge thanks to today's video sponsor, Elton. Elton is an awesome charging app that will let you charge at almost all charge point operators in Norway, Sweden, Finland, and Denmark. So one app will let you pay at these chargers. It will also show you lifetime information like vacancy, and if all chargers are occupied, it will actually show you the estimated queue time before one is vacant. It's pretty awesome. So if you want to support the channel, there will be a link for the Elton app in the description down below. Now that was a completely different type of charging session than we had last week when we did this exact same test. Now we're talking, now we got pretty decent speed and a pretty decent peak. So the Ioniq 5 still starts a bit slowly, only getting like 123, 124 kilowatts, but then at 15%, the speed starts to ramp up, and then we're at like 195 kilowatts. We had that speed until we hit 30%, and then another bump up to almost 230 kilowatts, and then it keeps slightly climbing and climbing and climbing until we peak at 49% stated charge, 234 kilowatts. Yeah, now we're talking. This is the speed we've been waiting for. And then it throttles down to just above 150 kilowatts, and then closer to 60%, it speeds up again, and then we're at like 180, 190 kilowatts, and then it slowly starts dwindling down. And then I was hoping, we were gonna get a little bit better, peak speed at 74%, above 150 kilowatts, because my Porsche Taycan Cross Turismo that I did this test with, also had above 150 kilowatts, but went below that at 74%. And wouldn't you know, this car also has that speed. And then at 74%, You know, it throttles below 150 and then it starts dropping the speed slowly. And then we have 100 kilowatts until 79%. And then at 80%, we're at like 96 kilowatts. Okay, now for the results. So the Ioniq 5 long range all-wheel drive with the new 77.4 kilowatt hour battery pack did 10 to 80% in 20 minutes and 40 seconds, which is damn good. I mean, that is an amazing time. It's not quite as good as what they claim, which is 18 minutes, but I mean, it's like 2-3 minutes off. I'm not gonna complain. It's still an amazing time and the third best 10 to 80% charging time we've had in any car. And also look at the kilometers per hour. It's amazing. I mean, this is an amazing car when the charging works. But unfortunately, I kind of have like a bitter taste in my mouth because the way you have to get preheating in this car is kind of cumbersome. And also, you don't always get that speed. And also, the fact that it stops preheating below 20% means that if you want to go lower than that, you risk running a cold battery. But if you know all of those things, well, then you know what to look out for. But I did a test with this car versus the Volvo C40 Recharge, you know, that C40 thing with the big battery pack and long all-wheel drive. And me and Volvo Christian go and watch that video because, you know, 3 charging sessions on a trip using preheating, I didn't get anything close to the speeds I've gotten today. So it is possible, but when you get it, how you get it, is not always predictable. But still, this is an amazing result for this car. Yeah. So guys, let me know down below if you own an Ioniq 5, if you own the old version with the 72.6 kilowatt hour battery pack version, and you now have preheating, and also if you own this brand new one which just came out. What is your experience? Do you know, get this charging speed all the time? Because I haven't. You've seen, I've driven this car 3,000 kilometers in a week. I've done so many tests with this car, and it doesn't always deliver. Well, it very, very seldom delivers. So they have to improve this because it's not intuitive to use, it's not easy to use, and it doesn't always work as intended. Let me know what your experiences are. So guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please drop me a thumbs up down below. And for more car content, as always, please subscribe. See you guys later and goodbye.